Hi, and welcome everybody to another edition of the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Ross Benjamin, and every Wednesday I'm joined by the handsome gentleman on the other side of me, Mr. Chip Chirimbes of vaplay.com. Chipper, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing just great, Ross. We've hit our stride in midseason, both in college and pros. Game of the year, NFL, and game of the year in college, both win, Saturday and Sunday.
Beautiful. And I think you had Ohio State in college football. Who'd you have in the NFL?
In the NFL, I had, believe it or not, I went 6-1, and my big game was New Orleans, who missed 3 extra points, still covered the spread. Yeah. And my blowout game of the year was no contest. Ohio State just ran away with it from beginning to end, and they really look great.
Yeah. And, another strange number again this week. I mean, they're laying 19, and we'll get to that in our college football edition. This is our NFL edition. We got a habit of straying off the path a little bit, but, it's all in good fun. In any event, Chip, anything you saw in the NFL last week that really caught your eye or worth mentioning from a sports betting perspective?
Well, the Dallas Cowboys certainly rebounded. We had them early, and they just manhandled Atlanta. And as expected, we had posted that side. But, one of the surprising things, the two best teams in the NFC and the AFC are two teams that got blown out the opening week. Tennessee got blown out by Arizona. Green Bay got blown out by New Orleans. And they both lead the pack. They're the number one seeds in their divisions, in their conferences. Yeah. So, first impressions maybe in this league, which lasts 18 weeks, 17 games, is something you have to put aside, and don't get overwhelmed when you see an outrageous display like Denver did against Dallas, and they come back and they lay an egg against Philadelphia. We had Philadelphia against them as well. I mean, what you saw last time isn't necessarily what you're going to see next time out.
Yeah, if you don't evolve through the course of the NFL season and just go by what you saw last week, or a bad game is etched in your memory, it's called not for long. NFL, not for long, according to Jerry Glanville, and when it comes to sports betting as well. So any event, Chip, you got a free play for us on Sunday in the NFL?
Yeah, big game between Green Bay and Minnesota. And rather than have hassle over a side in this one, I think I have the total pat down here. Green Bay, number 3 in defense this year, really tough defense, allowing only 309 yards a game. And their offense, even though Rodgers was out last week, it hasn't been all that spectacular. They're ranked 20th, Ross, and that's 339 yards a game. They've been under 7 straight games, Green Bay. And you look at Minnesota, and, Cousins has all these great stats, but they're 11-3 to the under, playing against winning teams at home. And they're 7-2 as home underdogs to the under. The 9 of the last 13 meetings between Green Bay and Minnesota has gone under the total. And at Minnesota, they're 6-1 to the under, these two teams when they play. So I think that's the way to go here. I won't have to sweat out Rodgers going crazy, or Cousins falling apart, or one way or another. I think I'm going to play the under in this game and expect a real tight ball game.
And the total on this game, bear with me a second, folks. The total on this game is Minnesota Green Bay 49. So we'll go with that right now. As we speak, Chip Chirimbes is going with the Green Bay Packers and the the Minnesota Vikings game to go under the total of 49. Before I get to my pick, just a friendly reminder, folks, if you like this YouTube channel with all these sports betting videos we've been publishing over the last 3 years, or over the last 6 months, or over the last week, whenever you started, if you have not subscribed already, please take a second to do so. Costs you absolutely nothing. And don't forget to give us a like at the end of the video. It's just a small token of appreciation. It would make us happy. We're always trying to make you happy with these free winners. So in any event, I'm going to take some ridicule here from my partner, but I'm going to be looking at the Indy and Buffalo game this week. Indianapolis is right now a 7-point underdog, and they come into this game with a 5-5 record, or coming off a modest 2-game win streak. However, those 2 games were played at home, and they faced the likes of the New York Jets and the Jacksonville Jaguars, arguably the 2 worst teams in the AFC. Now, Indy relies heavily on the running game and features a really good running back. I mean, right now, if they're without Derrick Henry in the picture, the current healthiest running back in the league is Jonathan Taylor of Indianapolis. And I don't think we'll get much argument from anybody on that. Having said that, he's going to be facing the Bills defense. It's pretty good, Chip.
Yep.
The numbers don't lie. The facts speak for itself. As a matter of fact, against the run, the Bills are number 3 in the NFL, allowing just a shade under 84 yards per game. They're number 1 on third downs. They're number 1 in total defense, and they're number 1 in scoring defense at 15 points per game. Buffalo is also, when we go to the other side offensively, they're number 2 in scoring, only to Dallas. And this is a Bills team that's gone 10-3 against the spread in their last 13 as a home favorite. And if they're off a game in which they covered as a favorite, that improves to 3-0 straight up in ATS. 26.3 points per game was their margin of victory. Indianapolis, by the way, folks, 0-4 this year versus teams that currently have a winning record. When I say that, not when they played them, but against teams that right now, as we speak, have a winning record. And Indianapolis has not fared well in those 4 games. I'm going to lay to 7 here with the Buffalo Bills over the Indianapolis Colts. And Chip Chirimbes, he likes Green Bay and Minnesota under the total of 49. Chip, tell the folks how you're doing, where they can find you, what you got coming up.
Absolutely spectacular last 2 weeks in the NFL, going 14-3, my last 17 releases. And those Thursday, Sunday, and Monday night games, 19-9 on the year. We swept the board again this week on those contests and looking for more each and every time. And, it just, after a little rough start, we both hit our rough edges. It looks like we finally got our stride with the rest of the season in store.
Yep, and it's chipwins.com or theaplay.com, whichever you prefer. You could find me at rbwins.com. R as in Ross, B as in Benjamin, wins like we do on a consistent basis.com. Both sites, you pay a little to make a lot. Until the next time, for Chip Chirimbes and Ross Benjamin, we'd like to wish each and every one of you all the very best. Take care and God bless.